Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the AZ Sports Zone on the IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Alden K. Today, regarding Arizona sports, we have a lot of brutal news to talk about, specifically with the Arizona Cardinals falling to the Washington Commanders 42-14. The Cardinals and 49ers preview for Week 5 when the Cardinals travel to Santa Clara to take on the Niners. We're going to be talking briefly about Kyler Murray and is he the problem in Arizona right now, and then we're going to be moving on to our Diamondbacks segment where the D-backs fell short of making the playoffs in the hands of the Atlanta Braves, and the Diamondbacks firing pitching coach Brent Strom, and the Diamondbacks free agents and who should they bring back. And then we're going to be briefly talking about the Phoenix Suns announcing their starting five for this season, ASU versus Kansas tomorrow, and U of A versus Texas Tech tomorrow regarding college football. Once again, guys, you're watching the AZ Sports on the IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is. Once again, guys, thank you guys for tuning in to the AZ Sports Zone on the IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that sports. I'm your host, Alden K. So today, we got a lot to talk about regarding Arizona sports. A lot of these topics, for me, as a fan, are going to suck today, but you guys know me, I pull through it. Rooting for Arizona sports for 18 years. It's very brutal. So, but before we get to that, IE Sports Radio has been around for 10 years, guys. Make sure to follow us on all of our socials, as y'all can see right here. If you guys missed any of our shows, you guys can go check them out right here. On Spreaker, etc. And then make sure to check out our website, guys, iesportsradio.com. And if you guys would like to buy some merch, make sure to check out our shop. Heavily interested in getting some myself, but let's see when. And then make sure to check out our custom pages, guys. As y'all can see, mine is right here, but don't just check out mine. Go check out everyone else's, everybody. We got a lot of good content creators, so make sure to go check out their pages as well. Make sure to follow my both of my Twitter accounts, starting with my IE Sports Radio account, AZ Sports Zone IE, where currently I give updates on every single Arizona team. I've been just retweeting a bunch of Arizona sports news lately. Sometimes I'll comment on the news. We've had a lot of brutal news coming out lately, which we're going to be talking about in this episode today. And then make sure to follow my personal account at the AZ2RL on Twitter, where I'm brutally honest regarding my teams, and I also talk trash a lot about our rivals. Right now, I'm talking a lot of trash about the Dodgers and how the Padres are going to sweep them in the NLDS. So make sure to follow me on that account if you guys want to get a good laugh in. And then make sure to check out our sponsors, starting off with Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky and Seal the Deal Wax Seals. And before we get into the Arizona sports segment of this episode, we're going to go into a quick sponsor break. So let's hear a quick word from our sponsors. Again, guys, you're watching the AZ Sports Zone on the IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single-A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all-brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
IE Sports Radio fans, be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back to the AZ Sports Zone on the IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all the sports. I'm your host, Alden K. So yeah, man, huge shout out to our sponsors, Planet Jerky, Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, Seal the Deal Wax Seals, and of course, shout out to our beloved IE Sports Radio. Shout out to everybody that I have the blessed opportunity to work with, and it's just amazing, guys. It's amazing being here. But before we get into the segment, let's see. What's up, Jen? How are you doing? And what's up, Drewski? Make sure to go check out both of their shows, guys. They got some good stuff regarding Cleveland and Texas, specifically Dallas for Drewski, but go check it out. But let's get into our Arizona segment, and we're already going to start off with a stab to the heart right here. Yeah, so I don't even know where to begin right now with this team. So yeah, we got demolished. That's they pretty much came in Arizona and kicked our ass. I mean, there's nothing else really to say. We lost 42-14. There's a bunch of negatives regarding this game, and there's just a bunch of stuff that needs to get cleaned up. And there's so many problems on this team right now. I don't even know what I want to address first because it's bad. Like, it is bad. Like, a couple of weeks ago, I was, like, excited about this team, right? Week 2, when we demolished the Rams, obviously, I know the Rams are a trash team, but, like, when we demolished the division opponent, and not just the division opponent, but a division opponent who has been owning us for ever since the Sean McVay era, when they came in our stadium and we beat the living crap out of them, I had good faith in this team. It was only week 2. We were 1-1. I mean, our offense was looking great in the first 2 games. And then in back-to-back weeks, our offense and defense have really shit the bed. And it it I don't even know who I want to blame at this point. I mean, I don't know if I want to blame our offensive coordinator, our head coach, our defense, like our coaches, I guess, in general. I don't know if I want to blame Kyler Murray. It's just it's a big part of everybody at this point, right? Like there's always something that just you can't fix on this team. So This game, I mean, they made our defense. I guess I'll start with our defense because it was horseshit. Once again, our secondary, aside from Garrett Williams, who got the interception on Jane Daniels, that was pretty much the only good play we had on defense. We didn't sack Jane Daniels at all. We got to Jane Daniels a lot. The D line did. They got to Jane Daniels quite a bit actually, but they weren't able to get one sack on him. I mean, Jane Daniels went out there and looked like probably what RG3 would be today if he never got hurt. So, uh, I'm just gonna say this: Washington, you guys got your quarterback now. You guys got a gem now. That's pretty much the summary of this game for y'all. Jane Daniels, aside from the interception, he almost had a damn near perfect game. I think he only had like 4 incompletions. I think he was perfect passing at halftime. And you guys came out to play. I mean, and the crazy thing is, even Washington fans did not expect their own team to come in Arizona and beat the crap out of us because um, both fan bases, Arizona and Washington, were like, yeah, this will be a high scoring game. Both defenses are ranked in the bottom tiers coming into this week, even though it's only week 4. And the offenses have been clicking, but the defenses have not. And it was a high scoring game, but not for us. So it was for them. So Washington, hey, you guys did a solid. You guys are 3-1. I don't even know if I've ever seen Washington 3-1 in my life. Like, I'm just gonna be straight up honest. So you guys got your quarterback, and you guys are gonna do big things in the future. So credit to Washington. They did their thing. But back to this dog shit franchise that I support. Yeah, the defense, it's beyond help at this point. Monty Austinfort, the general manager, you really need to improve this defense in the offseason, or even right now, maybe. It's still early in the season. You could go out there and spend some money. You had $22 million in cap space that you refused to spend, and you could have spent that in a good way. You could have traded for Matthew Judon. You didn't do that. You could have traded for Hassan Reddick. At this point, you probably won't do that. So at the end of the day, something needs to change. And I said this on my personal YouTube channel, right? That something needs to change. Our owner needs to get off of his, I'm not going to finish that sentence. Our owner needs to change something, even though he's a cheapskate. Something, please. Like, this team had a chance in back-to-back weeks to make us. Matter of fact, every single game that they've played, they've had a big chance to make a big statement, right? Week 1, we should have won, right? But it came down to decisions by the offense, and I'm even going to address the referees because they've been bad in general this season. The Detroit game, even though we got a pick 6 taken away from us, our offense had many chances to execute. They didn't do that. So honestly, this Cardinals team should be at least 3-1 right now. But with the refs being the refs, with our offense not clicking in certain scenarios, and the fact that Arizona sports can't get anything right, we're 1-3, and we're taking on the Niners this week. So that's just beautiful. But I got to talk about Kyler Murray a little bit, right? And I know the banner seems like I am blaming him, but I'm really not. So let's see. I just mad Washington beat you guys, but the Cowboys. Dude, the Cowboys and Cardinals, it blows my mind the fact that since Tony Romo, we're like 8-1 against the Cowboys. Like it, or 7-1, 6-1, something like that. It just blows my mind that Josh Dobbs, uh, Kyler Murray. Well, Kyler Murray owns Texas in general. He's like undefeated in the state of Texas for some reason. Um, who else? I'm pretty sure did Carson Palmer beat the Cowboys? I don't even know. But yeah, is Kyler Murray to blame for this? A lot of fans say he isn't. A lot of fans say that he is. So coming into this season, Kyler Murray was off of an ACL tear. A lot of people were counting him out. I mean, rightfully so, right? He didn't do much last year. I mean, he couldn't because he missed half of the year. But the Cardinals made some moves. They drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. They drafted Trey Benson out of Florida State, who I still feel like should get more carries on the offense. I don't know why Drew Petzing is not getting him involved. But it is what it is. Okay. So, I get why the fans are impatient, right? I get why the Cardinal fans are impatient. Kyler Murray, he's in year 6. He still somewhat makes the same mistakes that he made when he first came into the league. Like, for instance, when he doesn't have an option open, He doesn't throw the ball away. He'll try to use his legs to make a big play, and he'll end up getting sacked, or he'll end up throwing a stupid pick, like he did that game in Detroit when he tried forcing the ball to Marvin Harrison, which is his only interception, by the way. So Kyler Murray has a touchdown interception ratio of 6 touchdowns and 1 interception. So he's not turning the ball over or anything like that. He is actually managing the ball pretty good. It's just the fact that his offensive line, well, number one, can he even see over his offensive line? I mean, let's be honest. And number two, I mean, his O line aside from Paris Johnson does not give him enough time in the pocket to make a play. So it feels like ever since Kyler tore his ACL that he hasn't been running the ball as much, right? He's run the ball quite a bit this season. Obviously, other than the Washington game, he only ran the ball once. But other than that, he's been running the ball at least like 4 times a game, 5 times a game. And he's averaging at least 10 yards a run. So he's obviously still got it. But feels like ever since that ACL tear, ever since starting last year when he came back, he just hasn't. It's like he's trying to become a threat when it comes to pocket passing, I mean, Kyler Murray has good talent, right? He's got good accuracy. He can make plays on his legs if he has to, and he can find open guys. So I don't get why people blame Kyler Murray when, number one, it feels like ever since he came into the league, he has not had the proper coaching staff around him. I mean, Cliff Kingsbury, as a head coach at least, Cliff Kingsbury was terrible. And that's another thing too. Like, this team last week let Cliff Kingsbury look like the best play caller in NFL history, right? And if you're an actual Cardinals fan, you knew the hell that we had to endure with this guy as our head coach for 4 years. So as a play caller, though, or as an offensive coordinator, I mean, Cliff Kingsbury did his job. I'm surprised he didn't call any screenplays on 3rd and long like he did when he was in the Valley. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. But okay? So Kyler Murray, yeah, Kyler Murray. And listen, once again I get it. It's year 6. Um, a lot of fans are in pain right now. We paid this guy a big contract after our playoff year in 2021. And looking back on that contract, by the way, looking back at Kyler Murray's contract, at the time when we paid him, it did look like we overpaid him. But fast forward to 2024, right? Look at the quarterbacks that got paid in the offseason, right? We've seen Jordan Love. He's already injured this season. Trevor Lawrence, he's winless this season. Tua, prayers up to Tua. He has a concussion. I hope he comes back and balls out, but honestly, he may have to hang it up at some point. Dak Prescott got paid. I mean, they might lose Micah Parsons now. And the Cowboys, I think, are 2-2 right now, so we'll see how they do. But all of those contracts that I just named, or all those players I just named that got those huge contracts, I know I'm forgetting somebody. Jalen Hurts, even. A lot of those guys aren't living up to expectations either. So looking back at that Kyler Murray contract, I'd say we got away with it. I mean, I'd say we got away with it. Justin Herbert, who I don't think has thrown 200 yards in a game yet this season, even though the Chargers are looking like a decent team. Drewski says Trey Benson's nice with it. Yeah, but the only problem is our offensive coordinator doesn't let him run the ball. Now, granted, we have James Conner, who's a beast, and who's having another good season this year. It would be nice to see our young guys get more plays, though, right? Get some more snaps, including Marvin Harrison Jr. This offensive coordinator does not get Marvin Harrison Jr. involved. You drafted this guy 4th overall, and we're still somehow a run-first team. It's like, dude, you drafted the Marvin Harrison Jr. because last year we had no receivers that were the X factor. We had a bunch of young guys like Michael Wilson in a rookie year. We had Trey McBride, who had a breakout year. And then Greg Dortch, who didn't really get that much opportunities, but he is this year, so it's nice to see him get more plays. So it's like, you drafted Marvin Harrison for a reason. Throw the ball to him. I mean, I don't think he's had more than 5 catches in one game yet. As a number 1 option, he should have at least 7, 8 catches a game. And I understand it's hard to do that, especially when the defense game plans for him. But if Marvin Harrison Jr. does not play good or put up big stat lines, then that should give other receivers on this team an opportunity to have big games. And so far, we haven't really seen that with any of the other guys yet. So as far as the play calling goes, Drew Petzing, you're definitely, I don't care if it's only year 2 for you. you're on the hot seat right, or at least he should be on the hot seat right now. Our general manager is. And listen, I'm not bashing Monty Austin for it yet. It's only his second year as our general manager. I mean, it's not like Steve Keim where he just drafted linebacker after linebacker and signed stupid free agent signings like AJ Green and freaking. I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody that I don't even care to bring up right now. But at the end of the day, Kyler Murray is not to blame, at least in my opinion. I have not given up fully on Kyler Murray yet. But I do get why the fans try to blame him and they say it's time to move on from him because it is year 6 and it feels like we're not going anywhere with him. So at the end of the day, I could somewhat understand why fans are impatient, but Kyler Murray is going to be here for at least 2 more years with that contract that we gave him. Nobody's going to pick up his contract. Is there a team out there that desperately needs a quarterback that would be willing to pick up his contract? It's a hard time to name a team that would be willing to do that. Like I said the Commanders at one point before they drafted Jaden Daniels, but now Jaden Daniels is their guy. I said maybe the Texans before CJ Stroud would be willing to take Kyler Murray's contract, but they drafted CJ Stroud and they're going to be a great team for the next decade. So, what team is going to pick up Kyler Murray's contract? Someone let me know because nobody's going to. It's just the way of the NFL. So, for the fans out there that don't want to keep Kyler Murray, we're stuck with him for at least 2 more years. All right. And plus, who are we going to replace Kyler Murray with? I'm sorry. Shador Sanders, freaking Jalen Milrow. I mean, come on. Really? There's not a single quarterback coming into next year's draft that is better than Kyler Murray or is going to be better than what Kyler Murray is right now. There just isn't. Okay. So we're stuck with Kyler Murray. And honestly, I'm fine with that because Kyler Murray's a good quarterback. He's a good quarterback. It's just he doesn't have the team around him and he doesn't have the defense that he needs right now. Because in order for us to win games, it feels like Kyler Murray has to go out there and drop at least 40 points just to win. And ironically, the only game that we've won this year, he scored 40 points. So at the end of the day, um, it is what it is. I mean, Kyler Murray's not to blame. That's the ending point that I'll make on that. But I got to move on to the next topic. So I'm only going to talk about this for a little bit. So if you guys watched Andre's show on the NorCal Sports Report, I think it was a couple days ago. I went on his show and I gave a little bit of a preview for this Niners and Cardinals game. So make sure to go check that out. Okay. So you guys know the drill. I always start off with the injury report, right? I always start off with the injury report just because in case either team is missing that star player. So obviously Christian McCaffrey is going to be out for a long time for the 49ers, which is a big blow for them. But at the same time, Jordan Mason has been playing very good lately for the Niners. So it doesn't matter who's on that offense. Kyle Shanahan will find a way to make them have a good game. So for us, Isaiah Adams is out with, I think it was a knee issue, a thumb injury. Kelvin Beachum is questionable, our tackle. Matt Prater, our kicker, for God's sake. Like, even our kicker is injured, guys. Matt Prater is questionable with a knee issue. Garrett Williams has been ruled out. So, honestly, our only good defender that has proven so far on this team is out. Christian Jones is questionable. Trey McBride is good to go. So, Kyler Murray has his tight end back for this week. We are going to need him if we have any small chance in hell to beat this Niners team. And lastly, Kyrus Tonga, our defensive lineman, is questionable. For the 49ers, Chris Conley is doubtful. Jacob Cowing is questionable. Yetur Gross-Matos is out. George Kittle is questionable, so that's a big one. Fred Warner is questionable, so that's a big one as well. D. Winters is unspecified. It looks like he'll be good to go. Jordan Elliott's good to go. Demetrius Flanagan Falez has been ruled out. Kevin Givens, good to go. Talanoa Hufanga, good to go. Trent Williams, good to go. Kyle Juszczyk, good to go. And that's it. So the Niners, it looks like they're dealing with even bigger injuries than we are, which, I mean, it's surprising because I feel like we've been the most injured team in football for the past few years. But the Niners, I mean, as a division rival, I do keep close with them. They deal with injuries a bunch as well. So it so this, especially if George Kittle and Fred Warner are out, I mean, this is going to be a game filled with just injured fest like the Rams and Niners a couple weeks ago. So heading into this game, I got no confidence in the world, but in order for this Cardinals team to beat the 49ers, they got to put the pressure on Brock Purdy, which our defense, I keep referring back to our defense, okay? Our defense is ranked somewhere in the bottom 20s. I don't think I have it on me right now. I don't have it on me, but I know for sure they're somewhere in the bottom. So, the 49ers, like I said, even without CMC, they still got a great offense. Deebo Samuel, I think, came back the other week. So, and Brandon Ayuk, who has not really lived up to expectations on that contract. God, my headphones went off for a second. That was weird. Okay. So Brandon Ayuk has not lived up to that contract, or at least I haven't heard of him lately. So it would be the most cardinal thing for him to have a good game on us this week. Debo said, like it all just comes down to outplaying the offense, right? Obviously, Brock Purdy, as much as a lot as people give him criticism for, Brock Purdy is doing what he needs to do to win games for the 49ers. It doesn't matter the talent that he has around him, even though I do feel like, I mean, with all the talent around him, it does make him look better. At the end of the day, Brock Purdy, I mean, hey, took his team to a Super Bowl, looking to do it again. He's doing what he needs to do. And Kyle Shanahan, who is by far probably the best coach in our division right now, he still, despite the injuries, doing what he needs to do to win. So this game is on the road. So even if it were in Arizona, I mean, it is what it is. I have us losing this game. Okay. Trust me. I really want to beat this team. And honestly, whenever we play the Niners, it doesn't matter how good or how bad we are. Freaking the games are competitive. It's a divisional game. So anything happens in a divisional game, right? You see these teams twice a year. You kind of already know what they're gonna, or at least you should have an idea of what their game plan is going to be in order to beat you. So divisional games are always tough and they're always competitive. It doesn't matter how good or how bad the teams are. I mean, we saw it with the Rams and Niners. The Niners jumped off to a hot start. The freaking Rams somehow came back and won. I mean, um, the Cardinals, even though they demolished the Rams, I mean, hey, like I said, especially in this division too, the NFC West has been a tough division for a very long time. So anything could happen. I'm not saying we're going to win this game. I just said I think we're going to lose, and I think it is going to be a close game. I'm not saying we're going to get blown out, but if we do get blown out, then that's just another thing coming. But like I said on Andre's show the other couple days ago, I have the Niners beating us 31-27, and I think that the points that we score is going to be in garbage time. I think the game's already going to be over by then. You know, late in the fourth quarter, we're down 2 scores. We score a touchdown in garbage time, but then again, it's already too late. So, like I said, it is what it is. I mean, the Niners, they should beat us in this game, but I've been wrong before. So, geez, I've been on the Cardinals for 30 minutes now, so I got to move on here shortly. So, we talk about something else. Let me just get the banner up in here. So this just crossed my mind because I somehow did not know about it earlier, or I didn't make a banner about it earlier. So the Cardinals, it feels like we hear this every single year. So let me get to the comments. All right, just he says it would be nice for the Cardinals to win against the Niners. It would. And if it does happen, I'm going to go off on all the Niners fans because it would be beautiful. But will it happen? Probably not. They're not as bad as the Cowboys defense. Man, I don't know about that. That's just me being biased, maybe. By the way, you guys have a dog in CD Lamb, all right? Every time I see CD Lamb score a touchdown, it makes me think of how our stupid general manager at the time drafted Isaiah Simmons over CD Lamb. And now Isaiah Simmons is rotting on the Giants, by the way. NFC West is really stacked. Yeah, it is. All right, so it feels like we hear this every single year, but I'm going to talk about it. So the Cardinals are rumored to trade Budda Baker after only 4 weeks. Now, Budda Baker, if you guys are a Cardinals fan, you know Budda Baker, he's got a lot of loyalty. He wants to remain a Cardinal for life, or at least he says that. We don't really know if he means that, but he says he wants to be a Cardinal for life. And I mean, our front office does whatever it takes to keep him. But does Budda Baker really deserve to rot in Arizona? I mean, we've wasted so many careers in the past. Gerald, even though he won a ring. Honey Badger, Hassan Reddick, Calais Campbell, Anquan Bolden. I can go on and on. So, Budda Baker is by far my favorite Cardinal right now. He hasn't had the best season so far, but he is the leader of this team, right? He's the guy who mentors the younger guys on the defense. He's just a fan favorite in Arizona. So if we do trade Baker, honestly, I'd be okay with it. Because number one, he deserves better. And number two, there's going to be a lot of teams that pick up the phone that are going to want him. I mean, there's so many bad defenses this year that you can't tell me for an all-pro safety like Budda Baker, there's going to be a lot of guys that pick up the phone, give Monty Austin Fort a call, and are willing to give up draft capital for Budda Baker. Now, I don't want to take a guess on what we could get in return for Budda Baker. He is a safety, so it's not like we're going to get a first-round pick or anything like that. But bare minimum, I think we could get a second or a third for him, and that's honestly not that bad for a safety, much less an all-pro safety. So that's just a brief topic to think about. Baker, love you to death. I hope you are a Cardinal for life, but if you're not, it is what it is. You honestly deserve better. And it's the Cardinal way. It's the Cardinals' way. Players come here to fail. They go to a different team, and they win a Super Bowl elsewhere. So that's what it is. But it is what it is. So, guys, we're going to go into a quick break, and when we come back, we got another brutal topic to talk about. We're going to be talking about the Arizona Diamondbacks failing to make the playoffs and absolutely pissing crap out of their fan base. So, when we get back, we'll be talking baseball for probably the final time for a while. So, let's enjoy this Diamondback segment while we can. Hopefully, I don't rant that much. But with that being said, guys, once again, you're watching AZ Sports Zone on the IE Sports Video, your direct feed for all that sports.
What's up, Pittsburgh? This is Ralph Galise, the host of the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Are you that passionate diehard Steelers, Penguins, Pirates, or just a Pittsburgh sports fan? Then please join me on the Injury Report every Tuesday on IE Sports Radio, the direct feed for all that is sports. And I will update you on all that's black and gold and have you telling your Pittsburgh fans and friends what's up with Pittsburgh sports. Tune in Tuesday with me, Ralph Galise, the User Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Let's go!
Hockey fans, I'm Adam Kernick.
And I'm Zach Puplis.
Together, we are the newest version of Hockey Talk on IE Sports Radio, The Neutral Zone.
Zone.
We love hockey, but we also know it's not everyone's first sport. So we want to make this show as much for new fans as for the diehards.
Whether you can name all the Swedes on the 08 Red Wings Stanley Cup team, or if you can't tell if Varlamov is a goalie or the latest trendy vodka, we're here to help. With facts, figures, and outrageous fans, we bring you all the hard-hitting hockey news you can handle, while still keeping it fun and on the rails. Well, mostly.
So tune in every week as we go around the hockey world, from college to Canada, the minors and the majors, and everywhere in between.
So bring your cellies.
And your one-timers.
You wicked wristas.
And be sure to protect your five-hole.
Catch the Neutral Zone every week on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
We promise not to pick on the Arizona Coyotes every episode.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm sorry if y'all heard me while that was playing. I'm sorry. I just had to. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh my god. they had to take a jab on the Coyotes. That was my first time playing that drop. I didn't even know it was there. Wow. Wow. Okay. Hockey's not an Arizona sport anyway, so yeah, but go check out their shows, guys. Go check them out. Go check out everybody's shows. We got a bunch of good people here. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was crazy. Okay. So moving on to Diamondbacks, that I needed to get that laugh in. That was funny. Okay. Shout out to those guys for the neutral zone show. All right. But with that being said, uh, the Arizona Diamondbacks. Now I gotta back to sadness. The Diamondbacks fell short. They missed the playoffs a year after going to the World Series. Very disappointing season. Very, very disappointing season. Very disappointing. I don't even just like the Cardinals. I don't even know where to begin. I really don't. Um, so there was a doubleheader on Monday between the New York Mets and the Atlanta Braves. Us Diamondback fans, our hearts were pounding. We had a little bit of hope left, which you shouldn't really have if you're an Arizona sports fan because it all comes back to bite you in the ass. We had good hope. The first game, we weren't really rooting for anybody in the first game. Whoever won the first game, we were a fan of that team in the second game. After becoming a Mets fan for a few hours, I wanted to hang myself. And I'm being sarcastic, by the way. I don't really mean that. But as a sports fan, as a team who wanted to see his team in the playoffs, I don't know how Mets fans put up with it because I was a fan of the New York Mets for like 2.5, 3 hours. And I wanted to hang myself. Once again, a sarcastic way. It's like, dude. And now the Mets are in the NLDS, just like that. It's like, dude, where were the Mets at when we needed them? And you know what? I don't even blame the Mets because the Mets should not win in order for the Mets shouldn't have to help us out. We're the Arizona Diamondbacks. We just won the World Series as an underdog. I mean, our fan base created a new slogan called Snakes Alive. And that slogan started because we were heavy underdogs in the playoffs last year. And we won the pennant with a team filled with a bunch of 23-year-olds. When the season started, we had high expectations as we should have, right? We signed Eduardo Rodriguez. We signed Jordan Montgomery, who we thought at the time was going to be good. Who else? We traded for Eugenio Suarez, who had an amazing season. We had guys that Mike Hazen made moves to make this team better. Our cheapskate owner spent money for once, and we missed the playoffs. And you're probably thinking to yourself, how does this team with a better record than last year, with the number one ranked offense, the number one ranked defense, how does that team miss the playoffs? I got an answer for you, which leads me to my next topic. Pitching. I said we were the number one defense, number one offense, but do you want to know what our rankings were in the pitching category? 26th. We had the fourth worst ERA as a team average regarding the entire MLB. Doesn't that blow your mind? It goes to show you that pitching matters in Major League Baseball. If your pitchers aren't on point, if you can't stop the other team from scoring, it doesn't matter how much runs your offense put up. If your pitching sucks, you're going to lose baseball games. And that's exactly what the team did in the month of September. And I swear, watching the Diamondbacks in my history as a fan, September is like the worst month of the Diamondback season ever. You guys remember in 2018 when we started off good, we had a huge downfall in September and we missed the playoffs that year? This year's even last year when we barely made the playoffs, our September was terrible. Our August and July were terrible. I'm still trying to figure out how this ass clown of a manager, Torey Lovello, took us to the World Series that year. It's crazy. But the Diamondbacks are firing pitching coach Brent Strom. Honestly, as much as I liked Brent Strom, this had to happen. I mean, someone had to take the fall for this. And as much as people wanted it to be Torey Lovullo, which honestly, yeah, Torey Lovullo had a terrible, terrible season regarding managing the baseball team. Torey Lovullo's not going to go anywhere, guys. As much as Diamondback fans might want him gone, he's not going anywhere, okay? Him and Mike Hazen are all lovey-dovey. They've been lovey-dovey since they were winning titles in Boston as coaches, okay? They're all lovey-dovey, this and that. If Torey Lovullo gets fired, then that also means Mike Hazen is getting fired. Because Mike Hazen is not going to fire Torey Lovullo. He's not going to fire his best friend like that. They're not going to fire Mr. Nice Guy Torey Lovullo, okay? So just get that out of the way. So are you guys surprised that Brent Strom was the one who took the fall for this? I'm not surprised. I mean, he's our pitching coach. He led the pitchers to the fourth worst start of the season. Zach Gallen did not have an ace-worthy season. And now we got to be worried about paying him, which honestly, I think we will pay him. We'll probably give him some stupid contract that he doesn't deserve. But at the end of the day, he's better than most pitchers that are hitting the market. So whether you like it or not, Zach Gallen is most likely to be on the Diamondbacks for a very long time coming. So that brings me to my next topic and my final topic, because I don't want to talk about this team any more than I have to. Diamondbacks pending free agents. This is going to be interesting. So I'm going to name all the free agents, and then and the club options, and I'm going to give my thoughts on them. So first baseman Christian Walker is a free agent. First baseman Josh Bell. Relief pitcher Paul Sewald. Infielder Kevin Newman. So those four guys that I just named are guys that don't have any club options or player options or anything like that. So club options. We have two players with a club option. Eugenio Suarez and Merrill Kelly. Player options. We only have one. Jordan Montgomery. Go figure, right? Mutual options. So clubhouse option and player option. Jock Peterson, Randall Grichuk, and Scott McGuff. So let me go through all these players and what I think is going to happen. And what I would like to happen. Christian Walker. I'll start the best with the first. Christian Walker's gone. Okay. It would take a miracle to re-sign him. Because the Diamondbacks aren't gonna give him a big contract. He's gonna be 34 next year. He's a great defender. He's a 2-time Gold Glover, so it would be nice to keep him. And I feel like we should keep him just because, I mean, who else are we gonna bring in at first base? You guys gonna re-sign Goldie? Oh my God, you guys are like what, 2 years late on that? So yeah, if you guys want to sign Goldie and have an old head at first base, be my guest. As much as I love Paul Goldschmidt. Josh Bell, I feel like he's gone. I mean, he was only a rental, so it is what it is. Paul Sewald, even though I feel like he should be gone, and I hope he is gone. I mean, Corey Seager broke the living shit out of this guy last year in the World Series. Ever since then, he has not been the same. So Paul Sewald, get off of this team. But I do feel like we're going to bring him back just because he's a nice guy, and that's what Mike Hazen loves. Kevin Newman, I think he'll be gone too, even though it'd be nice because he didn't have that bad of a year, but he'll probably be gone. Club options. If you guys do not pick up Eugenio Suarez's option, Arizona Diamondback fans are going to riot at Chase Field and on Ken Kendrick's dumbass. If you guys do not pick up Gino Suarez for one more season after the season that he had, you guys are begging to lose. I mean, come on. Suarez only missed 5 games this year? He had 30 home runs and 100 RBIs. You mean to tell me the Diamondbacks intentionally miss up on picking his option for $15 million? Come on now. Y'all better pick up his option. Merrill Kelly, I feel like we should pick up his option. I feel like he was the only competent pitcher on this team for the short time that he played, even though he was injured for a majority of the year. Him and Ryan Nelson were actually pretty good this year, but other than that, all the pitchers on our team sucked. And then player option. Jordan Montgomery, even though I don't want him back here, I don't think any of us want him back here. I don't think even our owner doesn't want him back here. He's going to pick up his option for $25 million. It's $25 million. I mean, imagine putting up an ERA over 6.60, and you're getting paid $25 million for that. That's got to be a good feeling. I mean, shit. I honestly, that I would feel like living in paradise at that point. Mutual options. Jock Peterson, I think he's gone, even though it would be fantastic to have him back. Randall Grichuk, I actually think we can bring him back. He had a solid year. I think he'll be back next year. Scott McGuff, you can go kiss my ass and go to a different team for all I care. So those are the free agents. Hopefully you guys give me your thoughts on the free agents. Diamondbacks, you guys got a lot of work to do in the offseason. You got a lot of work to do. And hopefully you guys get it done soon enough. It would be perfect. Because this team has what it takes. The Diamondbacks, they have what it takes. They have the talent. They even have the pitchers. Our pitchers just underperformed this year and they had a bad year. It happens. That's how it is. And Major League Baseball sometimes. Baseball is a weird sport. Like, you can go on a huge win streak. You can go on a losing streak out of nowhere. It's like if the bats aren't hot, it's pretty much done, right? And if the pitchers aren't on sync, it's like that's how weird of a sport baseball is. It's not like basketball or football where if you're a good team, you're going to be a good team throughout the year. It's not like that. When it comes to baseball, you could be the best team at one point and be hanging out of the playoffs the next moment, just like the Diamondbacks were. So, that's how weird of a sport baseball is. And that, it's very, I feel like baseball is honestly the hardest sport to win a championship. That's my underdog take. So, let me know what y'all think on that. So, damn. All right. Oh, I didn't have any more topics. Okay. My bad, guys. All right. So, before we wrap up episode 12, first off, I want to thank everybody that came in here. I want to thank all you guys to hop on, for hopping on here and, just listen to me rant on Arizona sports today. I feel like I've been ranting the entire time. Cardinals and Diamondbacks, I've just had it rough lately. It's brutal. What's up, Rick? How you doing? Very tough for the D-backs to consistently contend with the Dodgers and Padres, and it was just a few mistakes away. Like, if Paul Sewald didn't blow the amount of games that he blew this season, and if Torey Lovello actually made smarter decisions regarding on who to put in at the bullpen, if he made better lineups in one game, if we didn't lose to the Rockies twice in September, for God's sake, honestly, I think we'd be in the NLDS right now. The Brewers did not look good in the NLDS wild card. I mean, they did look good, but they blew it. You can't mean to tell me that Arizona, a team that has a firepower offense, you can't mean to tell me Arizona would not have gone into Milwaukee and probably swept that team again. I really think we would have. And I think we'd be heading to Philadelphia tomorrow for a rematch date with the Philadelphia Phillies. I felt like if we had just gotten into the playoffs, we would be in Philadelphia right now. I really feel like we would have. I mean, it's just Torey Lovello. He's obviously not going to get fired, but it's just a stupid decision making, and he's the reason why we're not playing October baseball right now. And yeah, I stand by what I said. I genuinely believe we would be in Philadelphia right now for a rematch with the Phillies had we just gotten into the playoffs. But now the Mets, the team that hoed us over, it looks like I wouldn't be shocked if they beat the Phillies. I wouldn't be shocked if the Padres swept the Dodgers, honestly. I say this every year. Dodger fans, you guys aren't winning as long as Dave Roberts is your manager. And you can keep arguing with me. You can keep saying, oh my God, we got Shohei Ohtani. We're finally going to do it. As long as Dave Roberts is your manager, you're not winning anything. Okay? And if I'm wrong about that, I'll give it to you. But based off of past history, you guys aren't winning anything with Dave Roberts. I'm sorry. But that's my rant on my division opponents, even though I shouldn't be talking about that fraudulent team in LA. Plus, not having Erod for the bulk of the year and getting something out of Montgomery. Right. Like, see, that's why I don't really lash out on Eduardo Rodriguez that much. It's because he didn't play the first 5 months. So something, I mean, for all we know, he could have been injured for the small amount of time that he played. I mean, a lot of our guys, like Alec Thomas, Geraldo Perdomo, a lot of guys that were injured this season for the Diamondbacks, they were rushed back by Torey Lovello. So the injuries plus the stupid managing plus the stupid pitching, all of that is why we missed the playoffs. And it really sucks. And it's going to suck until March next year. It's going to suck. I really feel like this team could have gone back to the World Series. I mean, we had a better record this year than we had last year. But that's how tough the National League is, right? That's how tough it is. So, all four teams that are still in the playoffs in the National League are teams that I really hope do not win. So, in other words, Yankees, Guardians, Royals, Tigers. One of you guys do me a favor, please, and do Arizona sports a favor. Nobody wants to see the Dodgers or the Phillies or the Padres. Nobody wants to see them win. Anyway, what's up, JR Sports? How you doing? Um, so we're going to go into another quick break, but when we come back, we're going to be talking briefly about small topics. The Phoenix Suns and their starting five. So we're going to talk about the starting five that Mike Budenholzer came out and announced. And then we're going to be giving a quick preview on ASU versus Kansas Jayhawks college football tomorrow, and then University of Arizona versus Texas tomorrow. So once again, guys, thank you for tuning in to the AZ Sports Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Sports fans, do you like teams that are tough, cities that are tougher, and fan bases that are passionate about their teams? How about teams that are historic and stadiums that are iconic? Then you belong in Chicago, and you need to check out Chi-Town Weekly. Join me, Adam Kernick, every week as we keep up with all things Chicago sports. Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox. We'll cover them all, plus more. The Windy City is always buzzing, and we'll keep you up on all the big games and major stories. So tune in to Chi-Town Weekly every week right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, New York? This is Ricky K coming at you at the NY State of Sports, a new show here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Listen to me every Thursday afternoon as we bring you the latest takes on the Yankees, Mets, Jets, Giants, Knicks, Nets, Rangers, Devils, and Islanders. Plus, you get some college hoops and what's the local sports events going on in the area. It's a state that never sleeps, so why not get the opinions and sports takes that never sleep? Again, every Thursday, 2 p.m. to the NY State of Sports. We'll see you then.
Welcome back to the AZ Sports Zone on the IE Sports Radio, your feed for all that sports. I'm your host, Alden K. Go check out not just those two shows, guys, but everybody's shows. I say this after every single break I come back from. We have a bunch of guys every single day that'll go live from anywhere around America's sports and talk about their teams. So make sure to go check out Everyone shows. And guys, I promise, and I know I'm late on saying, but I'm really sorry for going live late today. We actually had a power outage go out throughout our entire neighborhood. So unfortunately I had to wait to go live later. So it is what it is. But next week, I promise. Next week we will be back at it next Friday at 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So before we wrap up this episode, we're going to be briefly, shortly talking about the Suns and college football. So the Phoenix Suns announced their starting five. Mike Budenholzer came out in media day and announced the starting five for the Phoenix Suns this season. So let's get to it. So the starting point guard Tyus Jones, starting shooting guard Bradley Beal, starting small forward Devin Booker, starting power forward Kevin Durant, and starting center Yusuf Nurkic. So this starting lineup is actually pretty good. Honestly, it's kind of interesting, right? Because last year Devin Booker played point guard. He was the point guard. And now he's switching to small forward, which Devin Booker's defense, while I always say is slightly underrated, there's going to be a lot of guys he matches up against this year at the forward spot. That's going to be a challenge for him, and it's definitely going to be something to look at, right? Booker, you want to put people wrong, right? A lot of people say you're only good at offense. You're only good at offense. So if you want to prove those people that you're a good defender, man, go play the small forward position. Offensively, we know you do your thing. So defensively, keep doing it on the other side of the court. We know you. We know what you're capable of. So Tyus Jones is the point guard, right? When we first signed Tyus Jones, I thought that he was going to come off the bench, which I mean, but at the end of the day, our point guard, because with Booker and Beal, I thought that we were going to keep them at the 1 and 2, and I thought Grayson Allen was going to start at the forward like he did last year. Um, for the small time that Bradley Beal did play, that's where he played at least. So it's definitely an interesting starting lineup. But if you look at the bench, I honestly think that this starting lineup, it really benefits the bench in a way. Because last year the bench was a big issue for us, along with having a terrible coach who is now finally gone. But if you look at the bench that we have, right, you have Monty Morris, likely going to be the point guard. Grayson Allen, you got Bobo, so those three alone right there. And by the way, Mike Budenholzer also came out and said that Bobo is going to be playing a lot more, which is something that Frank Vogel should have done last year. And who knows, maybe if he did, he would still have a job here. So, but it is what it is. So it's definitely nice, right? It's very interesting because we have a couple weeks left until the NBA season, right? Or a few weeks left. I think we're 19, 20 days away from the NBA season, so about 2.5 weeks. So it's going to be interesting, right? And this Phoenix Suns team, believe it or not, I'm actually excited for this team, right? I feel like last year was we kind of overhyped this team a little bit too much, but I feel like this year is a really a make or to break it year for us, right? I'm not going into this season expecting us to go deep in the playoffs or anything like that, but with this team that we have, I mean, we have the talent. We have a proven NBA champion as our head coach. So it's time to go out there and get it done now, right? Especially after the seasons that the Cardinals and Diamondbacks have had. Phoenix Suns, can you please just give us something to smile about? I mean, that's all I ask. I mean, 60 years in the NBA. You should have won in 21, but Giannis, being Giannis, you guys lost. It's just, listen, I know I'm young, but I just want to see one of my teams win a title already. Like, it's brutal. It's very brutal. I just want to see one of my teams win something for once. And Suns, it would be nice because the Suns have, like, for a team that has no titles, the Suns have a decent history regarding players and stuff. So we just need to get that trophy. Like, we have a good, historically, we have a decent franchise. We have a lot of good Hall of Famers, this and that. But the one thing that we don't have is an NBA championship. So, Suns, I beg you. I know you're an Arizona sports team and you don't ever get it done, but please, just do it one time at least. All right, but anyway, ASU taking on the Kansas Jayhawks tomorrow, and ASU is actually favored after losing to Texas Tech. So hopefully, the quarterback can bounce back. Hopefully Levitt can bounce back after his last game. I could get the run game going in this game. I do think we'll win though. I do think we will win. Um, ASU, they've already succeeded expectations, higher expectations than I thought. So yeah, they're definitely doing very decent, and it's kind of surprising to see them play this good. So hopefully they keep it going. I do have us winning this game though, and it's tomorrow, so I will be able to watch it. So get it done, ASU. And then lastly, U of A against Texas Tech. Texas Tech, the team that just beat ASU. So U of A has really struggled this year, right? It's definitely. I mean, they came into this season ranked 20th, I believe, and now they're not ranked at all because they've struggled against teams that they're supposed to blow out. New Mexico, they lost to Kansas State. They got annihilated by them. And this Texas Tech game, even though, like I said, I make it obvious. I root for ASU. I mean, I don't like U of A. I hate them. But I'll still talk about them just because they play for my beloved state of Arizona. So I do think U of A will bounce back. I think they're due for a bounce back, right? They got punched in the mouth by Kansas State. So Texas Tech, even though Texas Tech is looking, I think U of A is due for a bounce back game. But I mean, like I said, U of A has struggled this season, so it's definitely gonna be interesting to see how they bounce back. But all right. So, but college football has been pretty interesting this year. Like a lot of ranked teams have really surprised us, and a lot of teams that we thought were going to be that good coming into this year have not been the real deal. So, college football has been it's been decent this year. Like there's been a lot of surprisements, like Florida State not being good this year, Michigan not being the same without Harbaugh. So we're in for a lot of more shocking surprises in college football. So guys, officially over the 1 hour mark. So guys, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 12. Like I said, I do apologize for going live a lot later than I normally do. That's actually the second episode in a row where I've done that. So I do promise though. I promise I'm not doing anything next Friday. I will be live unless somehow the power goes out again, which it probably won't. So I guarantee you next week we're back at it at 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 12 of the AZ Sports Zone on the IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Alden K. Guys, next week we're going to be talking about the Cardinals post-game against the 49ers. Can they upset the Niners? I hope so, but will they? Probably not, but it would be nice if they did. And then we're going to be talking about a little bit more about the Diamondbacks as we wrap up the MLB season. And then obviously the Phoenix Suns are starting up very soon. So we're going to go over a lot of the preseason games, see how the young guys do on our roster. It's going to be very fun. Hopefully we get some good news regarding Arizona sports very soon, because this past week it was very depressing regarding Arizona sports. So hopefully it gets a little bit better. But guys, like I said, next Friday at 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I will be back at it to give you guys the updates on Arizona sports. Once again, guys, thank you guys for tuning in to episode 12 on the IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that sports. I'm your host, Alden K. Have a blessed week, guys. Have a great week in general, and I will see you guys next Friday. Peace out.